Tell you what, instead of our regular sportscast, we're happy to welcome to our studio this morning the head coach of the Ottawa Senators, Paul MacLean. Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's real good to be seen right now, Kurt, I'll tell you that.
I know you're glad it's all over, right? But that's the process, and that's the way it is.
It's exactly it. It is a process, and as frustrating as it was for us as coaches and fans, I can't imagine the frustration of being one of the players or the owners that are negotiating it. So I think we have to have a lot of respect for the job that they did. We don't have to maybe like the timeline that they used, but we certainly have to respect the process.
Well, it was a labor dispute, and that's what happens in labor disputes,
exactly.
Right? It doesn't matter what the business is. Now your business really gets concentrated, right? Because instead of a regular, 3-week training camp, it gets condensed into, 7 or 8 days maybe?
It's going to be 7 days. It's either going to start Saturday or Sunday, depending on medicals and when we can actually skate with them. But you're right, it's going to be concentrated, and we're going to get right down to the business of being an Ottawa Senator right away, and that's getting up and down the rink and making sure that we're ready to go.
You're not going to have the usual, extra guys in training camp, right? You're going to keep it 30 or under, basically.
I think it's going to be 30 or less, and we're going to try to run 5 lines and 8 defensemen type of thing. So I think we're right around the 26, 27 number, depending on the goaltenders that we bring in. Some other, we might bring in a Cody Ceci and have a look at him, and maybe some of our junior players. It's pretty hard really to disrupt Luke's team in Binghamton too much at this. They're in a regular season, although we want to make sure we're ready and we have the guys here that we need to have.
Yeah, but wouldn't some of those players have ended up here anyway instead of with Luke?
Oh yes, yeah, some of them would have. For sure. 4 or 5 of them would have been here anyway. Yeah. But at the same time, they have a season that they're running, and to bring, it's not like we can bring the whole team here and have a training camp.
No, not extra guys, just the guys that you would expect to make the team, right?
We just want the ones that we need, but we also know that all the players that are playing there with Luke are available to us throughout the season, and I think we're going to use a lot of them as well.
Is that the upside of this? Because these guys, and like you say, there's at least 4 or 5, maybe half a dozen or more that have been playing games, that have been in the middle of a hockey season. So they're in game shape, they're good to go. That's a bonus for you, and other teams have the same situation.
I think a lot of teams are similar in that way, but the plus for us is, Jason was playing over in Europe, and Eric was playing over in Europe. We had a lot of guys that were playing. I think we had maybe 5 or 6 guys that didn't play anywhere, and a lot of teams are probably the same. But I think with the 48-game schedule, it's a sprint. Everyone's talking about it, and I think the depth of your organization is going to be real important. Yeah. And the age of your organization is going to be important. And one thing that we have is a lot of really good young players that are playing with Luke in Binghamton, and we're going to be able to use all of those guys. And I think it's going to allow us to get some momentum and maintain it.
You said you wouldn't be afraid, when you spoke yesterday, you said you wouldn't be afraid to bring these guys up when necessary, but that's common practice anyway, right? Yeah,
I think we're still a team of opportunity for young players. I mean, last year we had some great success with young players and allowing young players to play. I believe that my coaching staff, we also have another year that we can coach. And that means that we want to have young players, want to give them opportunity to play. We're going to give them opportunity to make mistakes, but also to put them back on the ice and have them grow as players. And at some point, that's going to be good for us down the road.
What do you, it's basically a sprint now, right, Coach? 48 or 50 games, whatever it is, because that early part of the season that you normally would go through is gone. Now it's every second night you're going to be playing, basically. Yeah. Does that change the way you do things, or do you just have to, getting out of the gate quickly is key, as you pointed out yesterday.
Well, I think that's the key anyway, even in regular season, but it's more important here in the sprint. And this practice blog that we're going to have of 6 days is probably the only time we're going to have to do that throughout the season, because once the games start, as you said, it's going to be every other night, so the games are going to be important, the practices are going to become less and less. So the time to get your team up to speed and what you want to do is now, and so that's going to make it, those practice time we have now is going to be important. Yeah.
Should be interesting, eh?
It's going to be that.
All the way around, like all over the league.
I think it's going to be, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. I think the fans are really, we have to show an appreciation for our fans and the patience they've had throughout this whole process, and the best way we can do that is to come out and play, and to play hard. Yeah. And I think there's going to be a lot of good games. It's going to be fast. It's going to go up and down the rink.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch.
I think it's going to be a real hoot.
Best of luck, Coach. Thanks for coming by to see us.
No
Really
problem.
appreciate it.
Appreciate the time.
Coach Paul MacLean of the Ottawa Senators getting ready for training camp opening this weekend.